Hey 7th graders, today we're going to be talking a little bit more about solving equations and doing some extra practice. We're really going to concentrate on those multi-step equations, so ones that have more than one step. So here are some tips to follow when you're doing your practice problems today. Remember, we still want to isolate our variable. We want to get it all by itself so we can find out what its value is actually equal to. First thing we do when there's a two-step equation is we need to add or subtract the number without a variable attached. Addition and subtraction will always come first when we're solving two-step equations. Second, we need to multiply or divide so the variable is alone. After you get past the addition and subtraction, this is what you already know how to do. You can solve that equation by multiplying or dividing so we know what the variable is equal to. Remember, whatever you do to one side, you must do for both on all operations. That means if you're adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing, if you do it to one side, you have to do it to the other. Make sure that you stay neat and organized in your notes, please. And lastly, you'll obviously just need to solve. Okay, so I'm going to do a couple of examples so that you have some work time. If you want to write these down at the top of your page, I think that'd be a great idea before you move on to your practice problems. Then if you get stuck, you can kind of think about how I did it and maybe apply that example. Alright, so our first one is 3D plus 14 equals 11. My first step, I just told you, was to add or subtract the number without the variable attached. So I see that this 14 right here doesn't have a variable attached. I need to do the opposite operation of a plus 14, so I'm going to minus 14. Now remember, this equal sign is like it's dividing the equation. Whatever you do to the left side, you also need to do to the right side. So I'm going to subtract 14 here. Okay, these will cancel out, and I'm left with 3D on this side equals 11 minus 14 will give me a negative 3. Different signs, we subtract. 14 minus 11 is 3, and take the sign of the bigger number. The bigger number was negative 14 there. Okay? Now I need to solve for D. So my second one is going to be multiply or divide, so the variable is alone. I see that multiplication is happening here, so I need to do the opposite operation of dividing. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. Those cancel and leaves me with D. Negative 3 divided by 3 is a negative 1. Now is there a way to check my answer? You got it. Plug it in, okay? If I were to put D in, we'll use Christmas colors since we're so close. If I were to put D in right up here, I would have 3 times a negative 1 plus 14 equals 11. 3 times a negative 1 is going to be a negative 3 plus 14. Negative 3 plus 14. I know that I subtract and take the sign of the bigger number, which would actually give me a positive 11. So we know we got that one right. Alright, let's do another one. This one's a little bit tricky. You guys don't tend to like the division ones. Okay, what's my first step? I need to add or subtract the number without a variable attached. So I'm going to do the opposite of this negative 1 that I see right here. And so I would need to add 1. Whatever I do to one side of that equal sign, I need to do to the other. These will cancel, and we'll have z over 17 on this side is equal to 8 plus 1 is 9. Okay, now I have z being divided by 17. So we need to do the opposite operation of division and multiply. We want something that will cancel out 17, so I am going to multiply by 17. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. Now this step right here, you have already practiced a lot, so you should know what you're doing once you get to this step. Okay? These will cancel. Z is equal to 153. Now your math teacher just used a calculator, so do you think this is calculator appropriate? Yes, most definitely. Okay? Now, is there a way to check what Z is equal to? Sure. Plug it in, put that right back up here, in our z. So we'll have 153 over 17 minus 1 equals 8. Let's figure this out. 153 divided by 17 is equal to 9. 9 minus 1 equals 8. So we know we got it right. Now, today when you do your practice problems, I want you to reference these two examples. I also want you to check your answers by practicing plug it in, plug it in. On your test, you'll need to know how to plug it in, and you'll need to be able to solve two-step equations. So, today's practice day is very important. Please ask questions if you need any help.